We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He's starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, come on fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Had a Gundam/Gunpla Quirk. This is part 16, and it's been a while since I last done this, and honestly, it kind of makes sense I do it right after that of King of Paladins, Deku, actually. Given that both premises are pretty similar with one another, to be fair. Anyway, with that said, let's go with that of a necessary recap. In the last part, the final battle between that of the UA's Gunpla Battle Royale coming to an end, with new friendships being built and some animosity being forged because of the Battle Royale. However, the final battle between Izuku and Rei and their custom 00 Gundams are going strong, with Rei explaining why he despises heroes, as it was heroes who failed his family, heroes who basically failed to bring his mother's killer justice, and heroes who only give a damn about making big names on that of the news and trying to rank up and be popular, with that hatred building him in his Gunpla battles, with Izuku proving to him that he'll be the hero that he wishes for, a real hero who only wants to protect others and save them with a smile, as his passion and determination was the one that had him overcome Rei's hatred battle style. And now, Rei holds Izuku at high regards, wanting to see if the Green Net can prove him wrong about heroes once he goes pro. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? A few minutes later, as time went on, the UA staff have to remodel that of the arena again, given that they had to remove the entire Gunpla battle dueling system arena around that of the stadium, and gives that of those from the Gunpla course time to put their Gunplas away and that of their homeroom class, with Izuku taking his 00 Exia into that of his homeroom class and making sure to repair it whenever he can once the UA Sports Festival comes to an end. Not only that, he also has to think about what he's going to do for that of for the next event, which is always the one-on-one battles being the final event of all of the UA Sports Festival. But not just them, those from that of the other courses are free to go to the other homeroom classes who took place in that of the Battle Royale to put their Gunplas away too. And even though they did sign a waiver, if anything happens to their Gunplas, UA wouldn't be blamed for any damage done to them. They did offer that of a way for those who took place in the battle to go to that of the Gunpla course to help repair them, if they want to repair them. It's all up to them. We've left that of some of those from Class 1A, such as that of Kaminari and Kirishima, and even those like that of Awas and Setsuna, basically happy that they'll be able to get their, Gunplas fixed up properly. With that taken care of, Izuku heading back into the stadium. However, on his way there, he was soon stopped by Shoto. But then, looking at that the dual-haired colored boy, with Izuku also narrowing his eyes at that of son of the number 2 hero, with those walking with him being that of Jin, Suzuya, Rei, and also Miyami, worry about that of their, classmate, having to deal with that of his other classmates from his hero course class. Shoto can up and say, Midoriya, I need to speak with you in private. With them saying, can I ask why, Todoroki? It's personal, if you don't mind. But then hearing this, Jin can up and say, Todoroki, I don't know. If you have some kind of grudge against Midoriya, I would suggest that you, but then saying, I'm not here to cause any trouble. I just need to tell him something and ask him some things. Nothing more, nothing less. Within hearing this, Rei soon stepped in, saying, we know you're telling the truth. You are the son of the number 2 pro, and let's just say your attitude and personality pretty matches him to a T. Within hearing that, Shoto couldn't help but basically clench his fist, saying, I'm nothing like him. Then, soon Izuku noticing the confrontation, saying, fine, we can speak, Todoroki. Within everybody looking at that of Izuku. Within the 2 boys in front saying, Midoriya, Izuku. Within saying, don't worry, I'll be back. Shouldn't take long, right, Todoroki? Within saying, yeah. With that, the 2 walk off, leaving that of those from that of Class 1L somewhat worried. And that's of a dark corridor right on the edge of the stadium where nobody's around, not even the pros come for that of patrols. Within, Izuku somewhat narrowing his eyes. Before then, saying, could you please explain, Todoroki? Like I said, you said this won't take long, so saying, Midoriya, your quirk is quite unique. A mix of 2 different types of quirks. It seems like that of an emitter type and transformation type. So I have to ask, what were your parents' quirks? If it's too personal, but I need to know. But then, hearing that, Izuku couldn't help but narrow his eyes, saying, you're right, that is personal. It's beyond personal since we're not even friends after all. Out of everybody in our class, even that of Kachan, you're always the most distant. Less to interact with literally anybody outside of just yourself. So you asking me this, something so personal, so private, it really irritates me. But I'll humor you. My mother's quirk is a weak telekinesis quirk. She only levitates that of small objects that are no bigger than that of, 5 pounds actually. And my father's quirk is a fire-breathing quirk. Both my parents' quirks are completely different. Basically, my quirk is a mutation, separate from both of them, but my own actually. Within hearing that, Shoto couldn't help but not believe it, but hearing each word and no falseness from that of Izuku's voice, he couldn't help but say, fine. If you say that's the case, because I'll be honest, your quirk seems like something that would come from a quirk marriage. Within hearing this, Izuku blinks multiple times saying, quirk marriage? Within thinking, as somebody who's been a quirk nerd almost all of his life, besides being a Gundam nerd too, and a hero nerd, I've never heard anything about quirk marriages. By the look of your face, you don't know anything about them. And lucky you, after all. Because you're aware of my father, the number 2 hero, Endeavor. Only just getting out of UA, he already shot up to the number 2 spot. However, he was never able to reach number 1, all because of one hero, All Might. My father wanted to be number 1 more than anything in this world, but he knew he could never do it. So, he had a secondary plan to have his children achieve his goal for him. Within hearing this, Izuku's eyes couldn't help but be widened in that of pure and utter horror as Shoto began to explain his past. That quirk marriages are not really illegal, but they're looked down upon, given that they were more prevalent back in the day when quirks are starting to become more normalized. But now they're looked down upon because on how inhuman it is. With him explaining that Endeavor bought his mother, Rei Todoroki, from the Himura family, a family known to have that of the strongest ice quirk users in all of Japan, to have the perfect child with that of that of fire and ice capabilities, with each of his siblings being Toya, who was a failure, then his older sister, Fuyumi, then Natsuo, and now him, as him being his precious little masterpiece. However, being trained by him and everything else was literally nothing but a nightmare. Until one day, his mother broke and even called his left side unbearable. The side with Endeavor's fire quirk, as he says, before pouring hot water on his face, giving him his scar. With Izuku hearing each and every one of this, couldn't help but be even more horrified with each word. As the only reason on why Shoto wants to be a hero is to prove that he can become the number one hero without his father's quirk, without his damn fire. But then hearing that, all the frustration, all of the understanding, and all of the sympathy he felt for that of Shoto just went down the goddamn drain. With him narrowing his eyes now, saying, I don't know what your connection was, if you were telling the truth about your parents' quirks or not. Doesn't matter. I'll prove I can beat you without it. Given that, the only thing it seems that you're good at is basically with that of Gunpla after all. Within hearing that, Izuku, materializing one of his beam sabers, slams it right in front of Shoto, stopping him before he could even go. Within, completely shocked by this, as Izuku basically his eyes shadowed by his veins, saying, at first, I could sympathize with you, Todoroki. I understand how your pain felt. Your family and you have went through hell because of endeavor, goals, and dream to surpass All Might. However, you got another thing coming if you think that you can beat anybody with that of just half-assing it. Within hearing that, Shoto could open narrow his eyes, saying, what? You're going to just basically hold yourself back with only using your ice quirk? Not even bothering using your fire? A pro hero's duty is to protect others, to give everything that they can to save lives. Are you saying that you're only going to save people's lives with that of your ice quirk, when you know that there are situations where your ice won't even be necessary? Within saying, the hell are you talking about? You might have trained your ice quite a bit, to that of probably even that of a mastery degree, but that's still just one aspect of your quirk. And seriously, calling your fire his quirk when it's part of you? If you deny that portion of you, all you're doing is hurting yourself. Within, Shoto even getting more angry, saying, what the hell do you know? Because I got my quirk only last year. Within, hearing that, Shoto's eyes whining, within saying, I got my quirk after trying to go in to stop a sledge villain, trying to save Kachan. At first, my body just moved on its own. It just reacted. I just couldn't help but just sit by and do nothing to just kind of help somebody. Even without a plan, I just couldn't sit back and do nothing. But that changed when I awakened my quirk, when I became my Gundam Exia 7 sword set. For the first time, it felt when I first time using my quirk, it felt amazing. And I wanted to show my true power, give it in my all. While I was training, I developed ways to improve myself in every aspect, in every form, and every ability. I didn't want to hold anything back, because doing so would basically be a disrespect to everybody who has come before me. Because being a Gunpla battler has always shown me that anyone who holds themselves back and not giving it their all are basically not worth being called a rival. And that's exactly what you are, Shoto, Todoroki. You are not a rival to me. You're nothing but a nuisance in my way now. Within hearing that, Shoto saying, you really have some nerve, saying, no, you have the real nerve of holding yourself back while everybody else here is giving it their all, giving it 100%. It's that very reason on why Takashi can't respect heroes. If we do fight Todoroki, I'm giving you some stipulations in our match. Within hearing that, saying, you what? I'm not holding myself back. I'm not giving myself a handicap when you are already doing so. But I'll give you a time. Within hearing this saying, a time. That's right. If you can't beat me with 10 minutes with only just using your ice quirk, I'm forfeiting the match. But if you use that of both your ice and fire at the same time while fighting me at your full strength, then I'll give you everything I'm capable of as well, as a sign of respect. But if you continue to disrespect me and everybody else here, and even yourself, then I'm not wasting my time with you anymore. I told this once to Kachan as well. I don't see those who basically make excuses for themselves as my rivals. Far from it. And if you keep this up, I won't even see you as one either. With that word said, Shoto couldn't help but even feel more frustrated. However, the way he says it, he can't help but understand what he meant. But even so, he has to keep his promise. He has to, no matter what, even if everybody hates him. With that, the two separate from one another. However, little did both Izuku and Shoto know, they had that of two little eavesdroppers, actually. The first one being Bakugo, with him basically couldn't help but clench his fist, hearing everything, frustrated with that of their conversation in general as well. However, the other person that was hearing them, it was Ray, as he couldn't help but scoff, as that of the white-haired teen couldn't help but say, even it looks like I was right. You're no different from your father, Todoroki. As he also walks away as well. After a good 30-minute lunch break or so, the arena is now ready for the final event. The one-on-one fights, with President Mike trying to hype up everybody who were able to make it through that of the cavalry battle into this. However, some things basically stand out quite a bit, mainly because those from that of Class 1A are basically, mainly that of the girls, are in that of cheerleader uniforms, leaving everybody completely in shock and wondering within soon. However, it isn't just that of Class 1A girls, but also those from Class 1B too, with Izuku wondering, what the hell did I miss? With Ida saying, I have no idea, Midoriya, even I am stumped on this. With Momo and Jiro, basically we're told that the girls from Class 1A had to dress up as that of cheerleaders, mainly by that of Kaminari and Mineta. And those from Class 1B, such as that of Kendo and Setsuna, were told by that of, Subaraba and Awas as well. And to try and make it more convincing, they even said that Aizawa and Vlad King told them that it was the truth. Within basically leading to the current situation now. But a few of the girls pretty annoyed, embarrassed, and basically shy about this, while some of them don't really care that much and are still somewhat excited. Especially a certain invisible girl basically walking over to that of her boyfriend, but then saying, so, Izuku, what do you think? But then Izuku basically blushing, seeing that of the floating clothes in front of him. However, remembering that of Toru's face being visible during their match, how beautiful and pretty she is, he couldn't help but basically blush, imagining seeing her in that of the uniform now. His face goes completely nuclear red, thinking about that of his girlfriend. Within, she basically loving this and enjoying teasing Izuku, which led to that of those who basically planned this, like that of Kaminari, Mineta, Subaraba, and Awas a little bit, jealous of Izuku being the only guy of the first years who already is in a relationship. With now, Midnight basically explaining the third event and how important it is. However, basically cut off by that of Ojiro and also that of Shoto from that of Class 1B, as they want to resign from the third event, feeling like they haven't earned their spot due to them being mind controlled by that of Shinso, with everybody trying to convince them not to, as this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And sure, especially that the second year sports festival and third year sports festival are still able to, but this would be their first chance to basically get noticed by that of the pros now instead of later, as they know this. However, they still didn't feel like they've earned it or that they proved that they deserve to be here if they don't know on how they even made it to begin with. So for that, they need to drop out, with Midnight hearing their plea and deciding to allow them, since it turns her on in her way. So the people that would be replacing them, just like that in canon, being Tetsu and Ibara. So yep, that always stays the same. However, now for that of the rankings for the preliminary rounds, as the first match being, just like that in canon, Izuku versus Shinso. Second match, Shoto versus Sero. Third match, Ibara versus Kaminari. Fourth match, Ida versus Mei. Fifth match, Mina versus Aoyama. Sixth match, Jin versus Momo. Seventh match, Kirishima versus Tetsu. And last match being the eighth match, Ochako versus Bakugo. So yeah, that's it. As everything, given that since Tokiyami never joined Izuku's team, he's basically out of this after all, unfortunately. With each placement, with many people being nervous, such as that of Ochako, given that she's going against that of Bakugo of all people. However, there are others that are not too worried. However, Izuku, on the other hand, noticing that of Shinso, he couldn't help but think, that guy. He was with the same people with that of Rei, who declared war on Class 1A. I know nothing of his quirk, but he was able to get Ojiro and the guy from Class 1B, Shota, I recall. So he has to have some way to, and yet they didn't feel like they remember anything. So could his quirk be? With then Shinso going to that of Izuku, saying, look forward to our match in the first round, Midoriya. But then Izuku saying, before he could say anything, that's when Ojiro came over saying, don't say anything. Midoriya, trust me. Within hearing that, Shinso couldn't help but basically smirk, saying, see you around. But then Izuku wondering, what the heck was that for, Ojiro? Seeing the serious look on the blonde-tailed user, he couldn't help but say, I believe that guy's quirk has to be tied to that of mind control. He was able to control me. Within hearing this, Izuku saying, wait, what? After that, saying, yes, I don't know how, but I think it has to do with some certain phrases or answering questions of his. I'm not completely sure, but you're more of a quirk expert than I am. You think you could help me figure this out so I can help you? Within hearing this, Izuku saying, all right then. However, before we do that, I need to go and speak to that of the teachers first. It's important, actually. Within hearing that, saying, what about? I could switch out that of my Gunplas for that of the final match, actually. Within hearing this, saying, wait, seriously? Saying, yeah, sorry, I'll be back, promise. I just hope that it won't take too long. As Izuku basically runs off, with Ojiro completely and utterly shocked, saying, oh man, honestly, maybe it was a good thing I decided not to do so, because who knows if I fought against Midoriya. Within remembering that of his Gunpla match, seeing on how hard he was able to fight, no matter what, saying, he's something else in Gunpla battles. But with his quirk? I don't know. Is it possibly the same thing? Who could say? As Ojiro heads inside the stands, wanting to go to one of the waiting rooms before the first match, Izuku heads that at the faculty heading to the faculty row, asking that of Principal Nezu if it's okay for him to switch out his Gunplas, with him begging quite a bit. As for Nezu, he couldn't help but basically enjoy the fact that one of his students is begging like this, as he was already planning on allowing Izuku to switch out if he needed to without saying anything. But seeing how much he wanted to make sure that it was okay, he can't help but want to tease him a little bit and show at least some signs of respect to that of the faculty of UA. Within saying, of course, Midoriya, you could switch out, but just as the rule stated, you could only use 3. Within saying, thank you, sir. I promise, I won't break it. After saying that, he soon walks off. Nezu could help but basically sip his tea, with All Might saying, sir, are you really sure you're wanting Midoriya to switch out? Saying, of course. It shouldn't be right to basically restrict him to one type of Gunpla after all, when his quirk is so much versatile. If we are allowed, let's give him a chance to show off all of his Gunplas after all. After that, Izuku heading to the waiting room, waiting for that of Ojiro, as he's already decided on that of the 3 Gunplas that he'll be using for that of the final event of the sports festival. As he'll be using the Omega Gundam, the Gundam Maximum, and the Grand Art Gundam. With these 3 Gundams, he feels like he can handle anything that comes his way. Within noticing that of Ojiro coming to that of the waiting room, within saying, "So, let's get down to business." With that of a few minutes later, with everybody doing that of recreational games and trying to have a little bit of fun before that of their matches begin, with President Mike coming back to the mic saying, "All right, everyone, it is time for the final event of the UA First Year Sports Festival, the one-on-one battles. And the first match, we have that of Class 1A and Class 1L's Rising Star. He's stand out quite a bit for having a unique quirk. He's known to be a great Gunpla battler and setting a good example for both the Hero course and Gunpla course. Give it up to Izuku Midoriya!" With the crowd basically going wild for that of Izuku, basically waving to everybody. However, he having that of a serious look. Within soon, coming from the other side saying, "And give it up for that of the surprising star. The one that nobody expected to come this far, but has basically stand out quite a bit. From General Studies, we have Hitoshi Shinso." Within, everybody also basically cheering for that of Shinso. However, it's not as big as that of Izuku's, given his already stable popularity with that of Gunpla Battles already, and for the awesome match he did during that of the Battle Royale after all. But then Shinso couldn't help but get annoyed at this, but not letting it show. With Izuku remembering that of his words from Ojiro, saying that his quirk activates if you answer something of his, or react to whatever he says. Make sure to stay quiet and don't answer anything. Within hearing this, Izuku decided to get ready, as the first match is about to begin. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry that this is a short one, guys. To be honest, I just wanted this to I needed to get this over with pretty quickly, to be fair. And this is mainly just a setup so I can, in the next part, I'll go straight and blitz right through that of the first round. And so we can go to that of the most important match right after the part after next, after all. So yeah. So please be a little patient, guys. Anyways, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, keep to date my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my other channel, my side channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. Link and my PayPal. All link in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon signing out. Later, guys. Hope you all take care. Do your thing, my Shiro.
Hi, everyone. This is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!